chat if you can hear me. I see we have a few people on already. We have Mr. Idol, we have Tay, we got Chunky Moose, Vorchix, what's going on? Hopefully you could hear me and I'll be able to hear myself in a second. I'm Doug Cunnington and we're going to be talking about Five-Figure Niche Site. That's my premium course launching this week. A couple students already in the house, I know that. And I was a little nervous to open it up this week because of a number of things which we're going to talk about, but people were asking for it. People wanted to enroll in the course even though things are going on in the world. And people can hear me. Rick's on. Richard, what's going on? We got Jamie, we have Michelle, and some other folks too. And I got the settings correct for now. Sometimes they change. And yep, so we're going to talk about the course a little bit. And actually, I do see there's a handful of students in here, which is fantastic. So I don't have to convince you guys and gals. And, you know, some people don't have the budget, number one. Other people think, hey, Amazon's no good anymore, which someone asked that. That was the first question here. We're going to get to some of those things as well as some other things. So there's a couple other areas that I want to talk about too, but we are going to talk about the course and some upcoming courses that I'm going to be working on. And I've been busy. So in fact, we're just going to riff a little bit. I do have a epic killer update that everyone has been asking for. Many people have been asking for quite some time from Ellen. Does anyone remember Ellen? I interviewed her like about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, but about 2 years ago. She was doing really well with KGR. She was making like, I think 3,000 per month when I interviewed her, and she was on a great trajectory. I got an email update from her today. She said I could share some of the details there, and I'm going to read out some of the things that she mentioned. I'll probably be doing a new video dedicated to just Ellen and her update, but she's a busy woman, but she did have time to send an update over. So we're going to be talking about a few things today. And we're just going to riff. Yes, some people do remember Ellen out there. Really popular interview I published on the podcast. I published it a couple of times on YouTube. And yeah, one of the most popular interviews in general. And yeah, she's continuing to crush it. I wish I would have been able to share some of this stuff along the way, but today was the first time I got a bit of an okay, like, hey, go ahead and mention some things. And I haven't heard from her in a while. So, you know, I respect that. You know, some people want to be out of the limelight. They just want to do their thing. They don't want to have like interviews all the time. And the fact is, I mean, the business model is straightforward to the point where some people could do bad things to your site and there's not much you could do about it. Even if you can do some things, there's a chance that it just takes time and it's not fun to go fix things when people are copying your work or something like that, or copying keywords or sending you negative SEO. One aside that I'll mention is I was successful in hooking up my DSLR to this ecamm live that I'm using. However, all right, so I was able to do it, but in fact, I can put in this little overlay here, I think. Can I do this overlay? I struggle with the software occasionally. Oh wait, maybe I need to do it here. Boom. Okay, cool. That's a little smaller than I want, so I'll just drag it and make it bigger. But the point is, I have been testing the software and I've been able to, luckily, I've been able to hook up my DSLR so I can use my awesome lenses and have even better video quality. This is decent, I think. However, when I hooked up the DSLR, it looked totally amazing. I have been busy, like I said, so I've been busy writing. I've been busy working with some other folks that are going to be helping me out soon, working together on a thing. So I'll just leave it vague, but I'm probably going to be documenting it pretty extensively, and it'll be coming out in about 1 month. All right, actually less than a month. So sort of the introduction here, the ink is not 100% dry, still a little bit wet, but I should be able to share a couple details with you today. And with that said, since I have been busy, I've been doing things, I didn't have a minute to hook up the DSLR to maybe test it. And the other thing is they use batteries, right? The DSLRs use batteries. So I need to get something that I could plug in if I want to run, an hour, 90 minutes of a live stream. I can't do anything if the batteries go dead. So basically, I thought about maybe trying to hook it up today and just hopping over to the camera, like over there, just for a minute, something like that. But it turns out it's not going to happen today. All right. But I'm excited to bust it out. And I was thinking about it. I was thinking about being able to set the camera like further back, and it actually would still use this microphone. So some of the technical things that I was experiencing before, I wouldn't even have to mess with. So I'm going to just say hello to a couple more people: Stuart and Michelle and Jamie, David, of course, Dan, what's up? We got Rack Up, Easy, and Tiff is on as well. And Dan mentions that it is sharp and clear with good audio. Excellent. Duke mentions this. Hey, Doug, I'm not sure how others are doing, but I'm not seeing much of a hit with commissions. What are you hearing? Maybe I was just lucky and I wasn't focused on one product category. Very good question. So a couple things there. And lost the focus. Funny thing, I just turned the autofocus off. Like I thought I fixed this webcam so the autofocus would go off. Okay, a couple things. Number one, I talked to one person, right? So Justin, I did a live stream with him earlier this week. He was making about $350 in January and February. And then he jumped up to about $560 in March. And when I chatted with him on Wednesday, 2 days ago, I think he was at like $1,330 across all the Amazon stores that he's an associate for. And there was only the 28th. I think, or the 29th. So anyway, not a complete month. And basically he was still doing really well. It looked like his revenue, when I chatted with him, he was like, I think it'll end up being like a 40 to 50% hit on the commissions. However, Duke is saying I'm not seeing much of a hit. So for me, one of my sites did take a pretty big hit. Looks to be like 40, mid 40s percentage wise lower. Another site that's in a different category with a lot of different products is pretty much the same. So depending on what category you were in, depending if you had different monetization, let's say, for example, you have a site that's making 35% of the revenue or 45% of the revenue from display ads. Now display ads or ad spend is a little bit depressed right now because of publishers, or sorry, the advertisers don't have the cash to spend. So some of that's depressed. However, if you do have a spread of revenue and it's coming from different sources, then you could be in great shape and maybe not seeing much of a hit. I talked to someone else who is not observing any issues. And part of it could be harder to see, if you're not actually running the stats. If you're getting more traffic because people are at home, then you may end up being sheltered, buffered from the commission rate. And Duke is saying you were just over 5,000 in March and about 49.50 in April. And that's just from Amazon. So, I mean, when you look at that, now I guess the other thing is you're only looking at 9 days of earnings in April that were hit. So, depending on the traffic, it may or may not be significant or not. The point is, you could still make good money for most people, not everyone. Most people are like, hey, 5,000 or 4,900, that's pretty good. Other people are like, oh, you know what? I want to do something else. So let's hop over and talk about niche site project. And more specifically, we're going to talk about 5-figure niche site, little sales pitch, because some people are still on the fence. If you're in the course already, just say, hey, I'm in the course. Just let us know in the chat. Say, hey, I enrolled or I enrolled recently. Because here's the thing. I was torn. I was not sure if I was going to launch the course in April because of the the changes in the commission rate structure and then COVID-19 in general, I was like, are people wanting to, buy stuff online? And I've seen other courses launch. And the big thing, more than anything else, because me seeing other courses launch doesn't really mean that much, but I get emails from people that want to enroll. And I would let them know, hey, I'm not sure because of the world situation. Maybe I should tread lightly and just kind of wait and see. Well, it turns out a lot of people have been enrolling. So it's a long sales page. This thing is a beast. But if you want to take a look, there's a link in the description. It is open for enrollment until the end of the day today. You have 10 hours and 44 minutes and 45 seconds by the time you hear this, something like that. And a couple big things. I'm going to go back up and just scroll to this one section. I wanted to put this in the front. I want everyone to be aware. Basically, I am making some additions, some amendments to the course based on the changes. So I'm not going to read it verbatim, but Amazon affiliate marketing is still a solid business model, especially for the side hustler or the person who is looking to get started making money online. So if you're Duke, for example, and you're already making $5,000 a month, course probably isn't the right move. So this isn't like as universal as it was before. If you're looking to make like income replacing revenue from your niche site, you're going to have to take a more broad approach than Amazon affiliate. At its core, this course is about Amazon affiliate marketing. There are some amendments that I'm going to make, 2 to 3 brand new units. I'm already done with, I would say, half of it, but you'll see that roll out in the next week or so, week or two, and you're going to be able to earn from different sources. Now, the big amendment is it's not going to be easy. If it was easy, we would have been doing it before because we probably could have been making more money. My friend Matt Giovanisi mentioned we can't be lazy affiliates anymore. We have to go and do the work. We have to find those other offers that are out there. And again, it's not going to be easy, but there's definitely still money to be made. And when you hear from people, there's all these frequently asked questions. So if you have any question, it's down in this blue section near the bottom. So what if I don't have a niche? How much does it cost outside of the course? What if I can't write English very well? How much will it cost to hire writers? All these super common questions are down there. So all you have to do is have a look. And I'm going to pop back over because I don't want this whole thing to be a sales pitch. That's boring. So the overall punchline is it's still a good way to get started. You can still make good amount of money. When you go back and you listen to the interview I did with Adrian about a week ago, I talked to Justin live. Basically, they have traffic, so they're going to be able to do something. And if you understand how to build a website, you're learning all these skills. It may turn out that you don't like affiliate marketing and you don't want to write and you don't care about the content, but you may learn that you really like to hire writers and that you like managing them, and then you could run an agency. This is often a stepping stone into something else. People may find that they love to do outreach. It turns out a lot of people hate doing outreach. And if you like doing certain things that other people don't like, it turns out basically any given task, there's a lot of people that don't like doing it. Some people don't want to mess with their theme. Some people don't want to do any development or hosting sort of issues that they may have to deal with. So it turns out that if you learn these skills, you'll be able to do something. And for Justin, for Adrian, for Marty, all those interviews went live this week. You basically will be able to do something. So that's the whole thing. You'll be able to do something. There's a 60-day money back guarantee. And we see Alex is on as well. And Rick enrolled this week. Thank you for enrolling. I'm looking forward to working with you. Gustavo is a student. Marty enrolled recently. A couple other people, they didn't mention it here, and I'll respect their, privacy if they don't want folks to know. And I'm going to hop over to a couple questions because I think while they're not 100% relevant, and maybe I answered them before, I'll go ahead and answer them specifically because, we're doing live stream, so I got to answer the questions here. And I don't have a ton to talk about. And don't forget, if you just joined, I have it killer update from Ellen that I interviewed a couple of years ago. She's doing really well, really, really well. And she echoed the comment that Duke just mentioned, where it looks like earnings are pretty stable. Like, we don't see any major issues here. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And she has some thoughts about the commission rate structure. So I'll read what she sent over, but I'm also going to do a exclusive video just about the stuff that she sent over. She's a really busy woman, so I'm probably not going to bug her for an interview. All right. So number one, there's first question in from Mr. Idle. So what to do? Amazon already cut the majority of commissions. What next? So I talked about it a little bit. Basically, all right, you have a couple options. Number one, you can stick with Amazon. You could try to earn more with Amazon by getting more traffic, improve your conversions, get more traffic. So you could do that. You can abandon Amazon and go somewhere else. You could do Target and Walmart and eBay. You can work with individual companies via affiliate marketplaces like Commission Junction, Share a Sale, whatever. They're out there. You could work with companies directly. You could do drop shipping. So the problem is, Mr. Idle, is you have too many choices. So if you're saying, oh, Amazon cut the commissions, fuck it, there's nothing I can do. Okay, go do something else. Just pick another thing. There's a ton of different business models you could do. So again, you could do drop shipping. If you don't like the Amazon commission rate change, I would tell you to avoid FBA, that is fulfilled by Amazon, because you're going to run into the same problems eventually there. I don't know when, but I suspect you will. So you could do something, pick something. If you need money now, some people, I actually got a few emails. Some folks were like, hey, rough times in the world. I want to start a site. I think I can do it. And I sure would like to earn money as quickly as possible. And I told them, don't start a site, start a service. Go to a marketplace or a freelance marketplace like Upwork, and you can get hired immediately. You can start doing work and get paid way more quickly. If you're trying to start a site, it's going to take you a long time to ramp up and actually earn money. All right, Tay keeps asking for me to answer his question. Hi, dear, you are doing great. I have one question: how we can make online asset like affiliate site, AdSense site, Taboola ad site, drop shipping. Please guide other tools as well to make more in long term. Okay. I will give you broad advice because that's a broad question. So number one, I would say pick a business model that you identify with the most, whichever one resonates with you. For me, it may be at this point in time, I'm interested in creating, a new site that has a very broad range of monetization. I want to be able to sell affiliate products, number one, because it's still a great model, especially if you don't know what to sell yet and you don't want to develop your own products. Affiliate products are great. Amazon's not the only affiliate program you can work with, so there's plenty of them out there. So I really like that. I also want to run display ads for informational kind of content, how-to content. And I also want to be able to build an email list, and I want to be able to market other products, including my own eventually. So if you have sort of that broad range, which, by the way, I'm doing that with Niche Site Project in the internet marketing industry, which is fairly competitive. There's a big market just in general, but yeah, you could pick whichever one you resonate with. If you want to do drop shipping, do drop shipping. There's pros and cons to each of them, and you'll have to figure out what's best for you. So in your question, you are at an exciting time. You are at an exciting time because you know just enough to ask a question like, I want to do an AdSense site or affiliate or Taboola or drop shipping and whatever, and I want to make it long term. So you only know just enough to ask a question that has a million answers. You could do anything you want. So pick the one that you resonate with the most. Find someone that you know is successful. Follow their game plan. Don't follow everyone's game plan. Just pick one, figure out what to do, and then, keep rolling with it. All right, so that's that. Next, Justin is on. Justin from the interview earlier this week, which, Justin, I need to make you a moderator, just, so you get the blue stuff going on there. Good to have you on. Amin wants to know about Ellen's update. You remember she was making $3,000, and that was a couple years ago. Duke echoes what I said. He says, Doug is absolutely right. I will always read a comment that starts like that. All the skills I've learned from him and others now let me do marketing, e-commerce, and affiliate sales. And Duke, I bet your other site, which I need to send you an email, someone let me know the specific affiliate plan or company that Sweetwater works through. So shoot me an email, and I meant to send that over to you. Okay, so next, Jamie has a question. I'm wondering about creating an ebook or an online product of some sort. What are some ideas? Yeah, so that's great. And I will, and what traffic should we recommend? Okay, so a couple things here. This is a big question, so I'm going to save it. Jamie asked me in a second. I want to do Ellen's update now, and I see Rose is on. What's up? And cool. So I'm going to read Ellen's update. And sidebar before I do, I've joined a Toastmasters group, which is cool. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago when I first learned about Toastmasters, but I didn't, because I was like, introverted, technical person. And I was like, I'll let those, sales and marketing people do it. Whatever. I don't really care. And here I am now marketing and hawking my own products. Wish I would have done it. Anyway, I joined this Toastmasters group because I was going to do a talk with Ezoic. They do a Pubtelligence conference with Google. They partner with Google. It's held at a Google office in New York City. The one I was going to speak at was in New York City, but it got canceled because it was, COVID-19 stuff was going on. So it's canceled. Hopefully it'll be rescheduled. And all of our meetings, I think some of the Toastmasters clubs are not meeting. They're not really moving online. And some are sort of dwindling. And I'm sure others are growing. Ours is growing. I've actually pulled in a couple people to just check it out for as a guest. But the thing that we've been doing that our president got us to do was to just read out loud. And I beat myself up occasionally because a lot of times when I'm trying to read emails out loud, say on the podcast or on these live sessions, or when I read the chat, I really struggle, and I make fun of myself for struggling to read out loud. The excerpts that our Toastmasters president brought for us, they were all from either movies or from books. And these are like blockbuster, like some of the best books or movies that you can imagine. And the funny thing is, everyone did a great job. I actually read something that I wrote myself so that it could fit with exactly what I wanted to accomplish. And I realized the reason why I struggle reading a lot of the emails and questions, especially the chats out loud, is because they're written so poorly. No offense to anyone in the chat. People are on their phones. I mean, I can't blame anyone, but I realized it's not me. I can actually read out loud if it's a well-structured sentence, has good cadence, and especially if it's like written by a best-selling author or a world-class screenwriter. It's just going to sound better. It's much easier to read. But when I'm reading, just shitty, really terrible grammar that would, just words left out, misspelled words, there's symbols where there should be a word, it's really hard to read. So that is an excuse. I shouldn't make excuses, but when you're reading live from the chat, it's very difficult. Okay, here's the update from Ellen. So if you didn't watch the original interview with Ellen, find it. I'm sure someone can put a link in the chat over there. But if you just look for Ellen, $3,000 per month on my channel, it will pop up. Here's her update. Revenue for April 2020 was over $12,000 on her main site. That's from Amazon affiliate commissions only. It had been increasing in the recent months, usually about 5,000 to 6,000 per month at least. Traffic has increased slightly as well as conversions, but not in proportion to the growth in revenue. As of now, I have not really noticed any change to revenue due to commission rate changes. I'm wondering if that's because the products were late to ship. Maybe perhaps it was because they were purchased before the commission rate adjustments went into effect. I'm not sure, but I've seen no noticeable change so far. Next, the conversion rate was 27%. Did everyone hear that? The conversion rate is 27%. So the highest I've ever seen on my sites is about 18% during the retail season, one really fantastic retail season when, all cylinders were firing. So Ellen's is 27%. 27%. So Ellen says, my conversion rate tends to be quite high regardless. Usually over 20% of the clicks convert, and I usually convert around 20% on page views as well. So about 20% of those who visit my site click through to Amazon. All right, so this is amazing as far as conversion rate, and it's amazing as far as the click through over to Amazon. The interesting thing, and if you go back and listen to Ellen's initial interview, she focused a lot on the keyword golden ratio, and that typically, not always, but typically, if you focus on the KGR, you're getting very specific traffic. People have a specific problem that they're trying to solve. And if that is the case, you don't have to convince them that much. You don't have to put affiliate links all over the place. Some people would say like, oh, you got to have like links all over these tables. You have to have a call to action, a feature box, all this other stuff. But if you get the right traffic, you don't have to beat them over the head with affiliate links. They will look for your affiliate link. They're going to try to get over to Amazon. I'm sure Ellen is doing, a lot of things very right, and she's iterated. Though she didn't mention that, but that's my hunch. Next, this is the last point, I believe. Yeah. Last point, Amazon commission rate changes, and these are Ellen's thoughts. I'll read this just verbatim. I'm not going to put in my thoughts here. It's quite possible that it's permanent, but it's also possible that it's not. It's also possible that Amazon doesn't yet know what they plan on doing going forward. Even if Amazon had been considering this change for quite some time, it's pretty obvious that it's related to the sudden and significant change in supply and demand due to COVID-19. They have to do something, and quickly, to essentially slow down consumer purchases. They don't have the supply to meet the demand, nor do they have the supply chain capacity to meet it. Bezos announced yesterday that all Amazon Q1 profit of $4 billion will be reinvested to address and adapt to changes caused by COVID-19, including increasing capacity, worker safety measures, etc. This confirms that they are having to adapt rapidly, and this costs money. So whether or not the commission rate changes are permanent for affiliates, the timing of this is likely due to necessity, not greed. As a niche site publisher, you're a business owner and you have to make decisions that are in the best interest of your business. And this doesn't always mean that it's going to work out as fairly as those that you would like to employ. Now, while this does not mean you are abusive or a manipulative employer, it does mean you try to get services for as cheaply as possible. Are you complaining that Amazon is screwing you? The backbone of its business, the driver of traffic to its products? Well, then how much are you paying your writers? Are you not also likely trying to get content for as cheaply as you can while also maintaining a certain level of quality? If you're paying your writers top rates, then good for you. But my guess is you're paying lower rates to keep your expenses low and give yourself the highest profit margin possible. Amazon is doing the same thing. The optics of it are not great and do appear heartless, but I think it's also important to keep in mind that Amazon is dealing with huge challenges to its business now that it has never faced before, and they have to do what's best for their business, even if it means hurting affiliates, as the consequences of not adapting their business would be even more devastating. And that could result in laying off workers. It can result in further delays of vital products during a time of crisis and scarcity. When I started looking into the Amazon affiliate program, starting rates were at 4%, and I thought this was great at the time. 3% is not great to what many were previously making, but it's actually not that bad. It is still possible to build a business around this, especially if you diversify your income streams. It's all about perspective. My opinion on this may not be popular, but I prefer not to look for excuses and just to pivot my strategy. That, my friends, was from Ellen. Ellen, thank you if you're watching this for sending that over. It was very clearly written. You made it easy for me to read out loud. I stumbled once or twice, but that was my own fault. And I will be doing another video, like I said, exclusively talking about some of the points that she made here with some of my other commentary. But I'm just going to let that sit by itself because I think it's well said and she's obviously thought about it. What I see is anyone that is making good money and that has traffic is just saying, hey, this is a business and we have to pivot. Most of the people that are complaining and whining about it are not making any money yet. That is my observation. Please let me know if I'm wrong. All right. Richard says, I've had many friends and colleagues join Toastmasters. They've all had great experiences with them. Zane says, Toastmasters is great. I was my club president a few years ago. Awesome. And yep, some people are reacting to the amazing conversion rate of 27% from Ellen. It's just amazing. Derek, what's up? Derek, I sent you an email potentially to chat tomorrow. Stuart mentions that we only had a 7-day notice. It's clear the pandemic has forced Amazon's hand to act quickly. They will reverse it if and when they need to a traffic burst again. All right, cool. And Jamie says it's very unlikely. Indeed. Sahid, what's up? And cool. All right. So I'll hop back over to, I saw there was a question I skipped earlier from Jamie. Okay. Jamie's thinking about creating an ebook or an online product. What are some ideas? So those are two good ideas. I would potentially, I don't know what your niche is, don't mention it here, but if you can put an ebook together that is useful, then I would potentially aim for that. Also, I would maybe reframe it into a course. Changing an ebook to a course is about the framing and it's about some of the other things that you put in the offering. If you put it on a platform, I was looking at Teachable and Kajabi. I'm probably going to go with Kajabi because it's sort of it gets rid of more things. I'm nervous to give up so much control to just one specific company and to have everything under one area, but I know what my funnel looks like. I know what I want it to look like. I know I'm going to be launching a bunch of courses and I know that it'll make my marketing easier if I don't have to mess around with different products and interfaces. I have like Zapier hooked up to like 3 different areas. I have all these different products that I'm using. So I would encourage you to reframe the ebook idea into an online product in the form of a course. Teachable is an easy one to get started with. I am probably not going to go with Teachable because I think Kajabi probably does more of what I need it to do and I won't have to use as many products. But I know Teachable has like a free option that you can upgrade in the future and they'll do a really good job. Especially, at this point, I know I want to have an evergreen funnel. I know when to do launches. I know when to have affiliates. I know I want to have, email marketing tightly integrated with those other products that I just mentioned, the funnel, the evergreen funnel. I want all that tied together, and you can use products that interface together, but there's always some little thing. So because I know exactly what I want, at least right now, to recreate what I have currently with like 6 different products, I could just go to 1. That's pretty good. If I could cut it down to 3, that would even be sufficient, but Kajabi looks like it'll do it. So anyway, Jamie, I would reframe it all around a course and go from there. Dustin, my man, what's going on? Good to see you on. And let's see. Compass Group Creative Services says, has Amazon ever raised a commission rate during my time at the affiliate program? I think it has been done, but I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it's typically around, areas that I wouldn't mess with, like fashion or some kind of premium, like health products or something. I think that's one of those. Clothing, I think that's a high commission rate. But Compass Group, go to Genius Link and check out their blog, and they have a history of all the commission rate changes. Basically, it's been getting lower since the inception. All right, and Adil says, what are my views on static websites based on KGR? You know what? I don't know. Can you define static website? I don't know what that means in your usage there. Anthony says, long time no see. Oh yeah, Anthony, what's going on? Did I see this coming with Amazon slashing of fees? No. I did not know. But I did hear that some people did know that some kind of change maybe was coming, but it's all hearsay and like 10 degrees removed. All right. Jamie says, do I think ClickBank ebooks are a good way to test if they will even sell? Yeah. So probably that's a good way to test, but yeah, you're deferring to my course idea thing, which I think is a better idea. And all right, Justin has an excellent question I'll come to in a second, because that'll give me another chance to talk about myself and courses. So I'm going to skip ahead to Beautiful World. So here's a classic example of just a poorly written question. People do this all the time. Dough. All right. My name doesn't have an H on the end of it. Dough is like what you make pizza out of, or maybe bread. A lot of people are into sourdough. Not sour Doug, but maybe that's a product. I should trademark that one. Sour Doug's Emporium. Okay. The question is, I'm hesitant to get started with affiliate website. Can you recommend me a source which is encouraging for new starters? Do you want to create an affiliate website? Do you want to do something different? Let me know so I can answer your question better. Adil says, a micro niche site based with 4 to 5 pages with KGR articles. And your question was, what's my view on a website that's 4 or 5 pages with KGR articles? I would say don't do it. Why not do something bigger? If you want to just do 4 or 5 pages, that's cool. I've never tried it. I think KGR is more of a volume play. So I think if you just do KGR with 4 or 5 pages, then you're going to see results that are directly related to the amount of effort that you put in. And if you're publishing 4 or 5 articles, that is very little effort. So do more. Try harder. Please try harder. All right. Pastor Duke has a great idea. Sour Doug's Dough Brew. That's pretty good. Chunky Moose would buy it. David, what's up? Yeah, I'm going live still regularly, indeed. And I think we can do Sour Doug's yeast infection. It's like it's a sour. It's a wild sour. I don't know. It could be a little rough on the branding. Let me know. People into the yeast infection. Okay, moving on. I'm going to go back to Justin's question. He says this: do I think I'm going to ever use affiliates to sell my courses once I move over? Yes. So I do have a very small affiliate network that I work with. Meaning not a network in the traditional marketplace sense, but I have a couple friends who have tried to sell the course, and it turns out the positioning isn't quite right, and it's only worked out a couple times. I think that if I open up to more affiliates, it will probably be for smaller courses, and I think those typically do convert better. So I will definitely be bringing more affiliates on, and I think I'm going to be able to work with several affiliates coming up soon. So Justin, if you're interested, and the thing is, I get emails occasionally. I got one like a week ago. Someone said, "Hey Doug, I am going to start a site talking about internet marketing. I want to be an affiliate for your course. Can you send me the sign up link?" And the thing that I like is complete control for the affiliates. So I've only brought on a few affiliates, and only a few of those have been successful. And I think it's maybe like 13 or so. And the thing is, if it's not a good match, or if I don't like how they're presenting content, then I'm not going to work with them. So I didn't know the person who emailed me at all. Never heard of them. They just said, "Hey, I want to sell your course. I've heard good things." And I replied back and I was like, "Okay, cool. I don't know you, but maybe we can get to know each other. Tell me about your audience. Can you tell me how you're planning on selling it?" All the normal stuff that you ask of an affiliate, and they completely didn't email me back. It turns out most of the time when you're working, or at least for me, if you're working with like folks online, maybe potential clients or other folks, whenever I've had a gut feeling that it's going to suck to work with someone, and then I ignored those feelings and continued to work with them, turns out not almost, 100% of the time when I thought, "Hey, I think this person may not be great to work with," they were not great to work with. So with that said, I will be working with affiliates. And one thing I can mention, I'm going to tease it a little bit. So I talked earlier. Okay. All right. And I do see, hold on, who is it? The blogger Praveen, who's being a jerk here. Boom, you're gone. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay. So couple things very soon. So like I said, the ink is not 100% dry, but in less than a month, I'm going to have a new course coming out. It's going to be based on a broad range of monetization using things that I rarely talk about. It's cool that I've like niched down and I only talk about Amazon affiliate marketing, but I do some other things and I have an understanding of some other areas. So I'm going to be bringing that to the table. I'm going to be launching it in conjunction with another group. Again, once it's more finalized, I think by the end of the day, I'll have things sort of even more settled, but I just want to tease you with it now. So there's going to be multiple monetization methods. Number one, I'm going to be building the site live within the course. Now, that's always dangerous. And I know my good friend over there, WP Eagle, Alex Cooper, go follow him if you are not already, but he has awesome content. He's built a site live, and I've always shied away from it because number one, if it doesn't work, because sometimes things don't work out how we plan. So number one, if it doesn't work, it does leave room for people to say, "Hey, you're full of shit. It's not going to work." Yet you're selling a course. However, I know that like what I'm teaching is going to work. I don't know if my particular site that I'm going to build live is going to work, but I'm going to do it within the course, and you won't be able to get to it unless you're in the course. The other thing is negative SEO. I mean, I talk about it here and there, but it is a real thing. You have to know how to do it, but there are some people out there that just don't want you to succeed, and they have more time than sense or money, and you could fix the stuff. I was able to recover the issues that I had with negative SEO, but it's just a pain in the butt. It's extra work for no reason. For no reason other than someone is just trying to keep you from accomplishing something. And I don't have time for that. I mean, I'm already doing a lot of these, live streams where people will try to, dissect what you're doing and then copy it. And I've had a number of students that I've helped address that and pointed them in the right direction to file with the hosting company of, of the party that is copying the work or doing something without integrity. So I'll just leave it at that. So with that said, it's going to be more broad. It's going to be a cheaper price point than some of my other products. And I never run sales, but because of the folks that I'm working with, there is going to be a launch discount, basically. So for the first week that it's out, it's going to be cheaper than it's ever going to be. And to my knowledge, as far as I know, it's never going to go any lower. And Alex, I need to catch up with you, by the way, because you may be interested in helping me out as an affiliate. And I'm going to be reaching out deep into my network to, call in favors that I need. So, all right, cool. Oh, I see Dana is in here, which I think I said hello. And who else? Wesley, what's up? David says you like to see the live case study. That is cool. It's the way to roll. And, I have a pretty good idea to not only do the live case study, but the fact is I'll be able to have an asset at the end of the day. And I was thinking to myself, I listened to the Tropical MBA podcast today, TMBA. Shout out to Dan and Ian. They're doing live streams weekly these days. And they had a guest on who was basically talking about running a business, thinking about exiting, building it in a way where you can just sell it. You're not the face of the business. And I thought that would be a beautiful thing. And I'm not thinking, 1 year, 2 year situation. I'm 5 to 7 years. What if I put time into it? I had operations people, a content manager, folks that were doing the things that I need to be done without me babysitting everything. Now, I don't want to have a big team and all that stuff, but I was like, that could be interesting to just build something and not have a short time frame. So many people are thinking, oh, all right, how can I start making 6 figures in 4 months? And it's just really hard to do that. But if you have a longer timeline, you can make decisions that are potentially better for the long term. Okay, I'm going to hit a few more questions here, and then I'm going to jet. So if you're pumped, by the way, or if you have questions about the upcoming course, please let me know. And I plan on showing you how the sausage is made. So I'll probably vlog this. I'm probably going to maybe once a day record what I'm doing, because it's going to actually be a massive amount of work. It's going to be a huge amount of work in a short amount of time. I love that kind of stuff though. I just enjoy really ignoring everything else and just focusing. And it feels great versus being scattered and doing 10 things at once. So if you're interested in seeing how that sausage is made in the day-to-day, I will probably start doing it today. It's May 1st today. So it's going to be out on the 25th of May. So got 25 days to scramble, actually 24, 23 and a half. It's getting shorter by the second. All right. What we got here is Dustin says, what are my thoughts on buying an affiliate website during the time when Amazon cuts the rates? I think you may have to wait a little bit, but you may be able to get some good bargains right now. The thing is, if someone was thinking of selling it in the short term, they had a certain price in their head, and chances are that price is kind of anchored in their head. So I don't think they're going to be much cheaper in the next month or so. But if you wait it out, you will probably find that it's going to be a little bit cheaper to get some sites. Beautiful World says, I think it'll be a great course. Approximately how much will it be in the first week? I'm still working on the pricing, but I'm going to say $500 or less. And probably there will be a couple different packages. I'm working on that. Good question. All right. Bradbury says, I need to be hooked up by Alex with some sound effects. All right. Cool. Oh, okay. Dustin says, for example, services like Human Proof Design and others that sell pre-made affiliate sites. So I'm an affiliate for Human Proof and I'm an affiliate for Brand Builders. Both are great. Both have good offerings. I recommend you check them out. With Human Proof, I know you can get 5% off using my coupon code. Occasionally I do promos with Brand Builders as well. And Dustin, I would probably recommend, you try to get a site that's already earning. And actually, Dustin, I know we've chatted a little bit before, and we worked together a bit. So shoot me an email. I think, we can get you into the Facebook group that you tried to get into before. And it's typically for students, but I think we could people occasionally have built a site and then they want to sell it because they're looking to reinvest. So I would get something that's already like getting traffic, basically. All right, Derek has my back on the new launch. Alex is on, another student from the course. All right, Alex is getting a beer, so excellent. I'll talk to you soon, buddy. Thanks for hopping on. Always appreciated. All right. Okay. Alex says this. So we got to check out the video. Alex says, Doug Cunnington, you're mentioned in my video today. I think you could be the reason that I had a 100% increase to traffic to my affiliate site last month. All right. And Alex says get Stream Deck, okay, and ecamm. So I do have ecamm. That's what I'm using now. So I'll check out Stream Deck. Thanks for that. I think, I was going to say the biggest thing, it sure would be great if I could just show up here and talk and then not do all the other bullshit. All right, Justin says, have I had success with ClickBank products? Yes, I have, but I kind of got away from it. So back in the day, I had a site that was actually not far off from the site that I was talking about before, where there's multiple monetization, there's a lot of informational content, there's good social shareability, hot topic, all that stuff. And I was working on it with a friend and we were just pumped to work on it. And we built huge email lists. I think it was over 10,000, which, it's all relative. So it was huge for us. It was bigger than, my list at Niche Site Project at the time and his list on his his internet marketing website. And we sold, good money. And it was just like you see, where you send out an email to a specific product and you make, $1,800 that day because you sold the product. And at the end of the day, if we just would have kept finding new offers, if we kept sending emails, we would have continued to be able to make that work. And I think I actually have one of the books that didn't inspire it specifically, but we were studying the digital marketer company at that time and what they were doing. I have it on the shelf somewhere. I'm just trying to find it. Of course, when I need it, I don't see it. It's a gray book. Okay, got it. So it's this, The Invisible Selling Machine by Ryan Dias, digital marketer. And really it's all about like funnel design and email marketing. The same exact stuff that I do for Niche Site Project to sell 5-figure niche site that I'm going to use to sell the course that I'm telling you about right now. So all that stuff, it's just in here. It's all simple stuff. I drew it last week, I drew it last week in a awful picture, but it does work, and the ClickBank products do sell. It's interesting, but for whatever reason, we were interested in other things to work on, and it wasn't our our focus. It was a little side project, and then it got less and less of our attention. Okay, Marta says, hey Doug, I'm happy to be in the stream for the first time. We will be doing a success story soon. Awesome. Thanks, Marta. Appreciate you hopping on. And I think we're coming up towards the end of time. Any other questions out there? I see we had more people earlier, but I guess I kept talking too much. Interesting thing is I have a lot of lights on me right now. It's just like two of those big panels, but the light behind me or the window behind me, I'm trying to decide. See, the funny thing is, since I have a bald head, like the blinds, it puts little grooves. But let's do a test right quick because I ran out of stuff to say. So I'll be right back. So is that much worse or the same, or do people care, just with additional lighting? It looks like I'm some sort of an angel, and that's a halo behind me, I think. All right. Jamie says this: I'm currently keyword searching. How do you find keyword topics? I've searched on Quora, Reddit. Where can other ideas come from? Go to Answer the Public, and then you'll get bunch of questions. Those are great for informational topics. You can also go to forums if they happen, like if it's a topic area that happens to have a lot of forums, or at least like one or two popular forums. I'm into homebrewing beer. You can see many beer books right there, right here. And I'm becoming like a weather person, meteorologist, where I can like point behind me a little more accurately. I used to, just 1 week ago, I was really struggling with that. But here I can now point to some of these white books right here. You'll see some of these books that are white and then the red ones down below. Much better. Yeah, let me know about the light. Let me know about the light there. So basically, if there's any forums, like there's two pretty big forums in the homebrewing community. One's called Homebrew Talk. It's been around for a while. Who knows how much traffic they get? So much content over there. And it's funny, like the countercultures that pop up, because I know I would read just all of these different topics about homebrewing beer, and some people, it seemed like they would just they would write 1,000-word responses to the simplest questions, and they would do that all day long. I have no clue. They're probably some sort of a software developer type or engineer nerdy type that just, works from home and sitting around and no one's watching up on them, and they just kind of have all their stuff automated in the background and they're just typing answers on Homebrew Talk over there. So thousands of words. But the point is, you can find a lot of topics there. There's another big forum for home brewers at the AHA website. So there's a ton out there. I think, you know what? It looks all right if I just open it up all the way. There's not grooves. Sometimes you see grooves on my head, not the best. It looks weirder. All right. People say that it doesn't matter and then I should just do whatever feels right. Beautiful world. Do I think health, fitness, and beauty is still a profitable niche? Yep, any of those can be profitable. Would I recommend any specific one of those? I don't know. I would maybe stay away from health. Fitness and beauty seems pretty good. Oh, Jamie says you have a kit upstairs for an IPA. You need to give it a shot. Yeah, man. And Chunky Moose says you made your first homebrew recently. You're making another today. That's great. I got so many projects around the house that I want to brew soon, and I have so much space now. I have a basement for the first time, so I'm going to be able to bring the fermenter down there, have a nice even temperature. I do have the kegerator hooked up, which I'll be able to show you a picture because I think I took one recently. And we got a nice little upgrade. Yeah, so that's the kegerator. There's actually two other taps on the other side, but you can see just plenty of choices. It's about beer 30. So I got another upgrade here, which I haven't had time to install yet. So let me show you. These soundproofing panels here are they're acoustic treatments is the right thing. It's not soundproofing. It just helps muffle the sound and it doesn't echo as much. I don't know if you could tell if it's helping, but the ceilings are kind of high in here. So I'm probably going to put some on the ceilings. And right now I don't have much on the walls. There's a few pictures over there, which you can't see. I got a bunch more, which I guess it's just story time right now. I'm going to show you some of those pictures, but I will be putting some of these around here. And I have a standing desk. I'm going to do a whole tour of the new house and the office area. But I think these are going to be great. I'm really excited to get these babies up. By the way, has anybody ever used those? How did you mount them? I have a bunch of cardboard, and I think I'm going to mount the panels on the cardboard, and then I could just hang them up like pictures. Speaking of pictures, let me show you. We're just going to go one by one. So I took all of these. So this is from Yellowstone, and this is it's a bison technically, American buffalo. It's a bison really, but I took that. I was just chilling. This is a lone male, just sitting up on a hill. Pretty awesome. Next is this baby. This is Morning Glory right here. It's getting a little reflection. This is Morning Glory out by the Old Faithful area. Pretty cool hot spring. And I'll just show you one more. I'll just show you one more that is a little bit different. And this one here I also took. This is Grand Cayman, and we had a spot right on the beach there, and I was actually working at the time. Just a couple hours a day, I would check my email in the morning, but I had a laptop, not on the beach because that's not really practical, but yeah, it was awesome. Just right here, I mean, amazing beach, beautiful snorkeling right there, and I mean, we could just walk right out. And there is an awesome reef, like right there. So close. And yeah, so all of those, the first two were metal prints. The metal prints are awesome, by the way. Super awesome. And the last one was a canvas, and I have enjoyed the metal print. So I was like, I'll get some bigger ones because I've only gotten smaller ones for a while. Which actually, I know Alex is gone, but do have this pretty sweet eagle right here. This was in the Yellowstone area as well. Just flying over us, pretty cool. All right, so I'll quit walking away. I think there were a couple other questions. All right. Okay, I encourage everyone to brew their own beer. It's really fun. It is a lot of, you just got to do your dishes. It's like doing dishes and cleaning the whole time, but you do basically get to drink beer while you're doing it. Nabil asks, is Haro legit for link building, and how would you use that platform for optimal results? So yes, it's legit for link building as far as using it for optimal results. I haven't done it, but I know there's a way to automate some of this stuff. So I would definitely make sure that you're sending it into something like Zapier and then parsing and getting rid of all of the noise. And it takes a really long time. I haven't done that, so I don't know how to optimize it, but it's definitely legit. Some recommendations for double-sided tape, and I don't know if I want to tape it on the wall, but I have seen people use like Velcro strips and stuff, like the 3M kind of stuff. So, all right. I'm just catching up. Yeah. Bradbury says, I'm living the digital nomad dream. People appreciate the art. Okay. Cool. I think, okay, we got one more question, and then I think I'm going to call it a day and get to work. So I never built links and just made $1,500 last month. Wondering if I should learn more about it. Will it help a lot? So I would suggest that you check it out. Most people do some kind of link building or at least promotion. It may not be direct link building, but maybe you start networking within the niche so that people are more likely to link with you in the future. So similar point that I made before, what if you're thinking, hey, I just want to get links over the next year versus I want to get as many links as I can in the next week. If you're trying to do something really fast, you will probably make different decisions than if you have a longer time frame. And it can take a while for links to work, but I mean, let's look at the internet marketing area, for example. Right now, because I've been doing this for a few years, I can email people. I know people that can help me out to market my course. Coming up, you don't see that. But if no one knows you and you start trying to, land deals, right? If I just showed up and no one knew me and I was trying to get them to link to my site and I was trying to tell them, hey, I have a really good idea about keyword research called the keyword golden ratio. No one gives a fuck. Trust me. I tried it. I tried to tell people about it. People didn't really care. After about a year and a half, after, a couple people were like, I'll give it a shot. I'll see how it is. Then they were like, oh, maybe it could work out, and they'll talk about it. So I would say if you have a longer time frame, Jamie, if you're thinking about it further out, then just network. People will potentially link to you. And let's say you make friends. Let's say you make 15 online friends that are in the niche. You feature them on your blog in some capacity. Maybe you wrote a interview with them and you basically link to their site. You do something nice for them. Then in the future, when you do put together that really great resource and infographic and you tell them about it, they may link to it. But if you just come at it cold, it's not going to be worthwhile. All right, Rose asked this last question. Has anyone tried KGR without Amazon and had any success? So the answer is yes. Look up John the dropshipper, John Murphy dropshipper. I interviewed him, I think it was almost a year ago, but he's crushing it. He does drop shipping, high-end drop shipping. All right. So it's expensive products, and basically he's making more money than he ever has. At least the last time I chatted with him. All right, Justin's out of here. See you later. Okay. I think that's it. That's it for me. I got to go. I got work to do. So everybody have a good day. We'll catch you next week. And lastly, if you're on the fence for 5-figure niche site, there's a link in the description. You should check it out. Enrollment is open until the end of the day today, and then it closes. And that is it. I believe there's one more position open for the premium membership. I don't do many of those. They are limited, and people already signed up for those, so there's one left. Okay, have a good weekend.